I guess I screwed up. I made a I made a video criticizing Trump. And this isn't going to turn into a political channel. I'll get back to just trucking related information. I mean, there were some people that agreed with the points I made, but one of the guys, he said, or girls, I don't know, somebody in the comments said, so one thing I said in the video was, I don't know that I could ever vote for a Democrat, but I've never been closer to considering it than I have right now. And somebody, I guess a Democrat, said in the comments, why don't you make a video on why you couldn't vote for a Democrat? And then he went on to explain all the things he didn't like about Trump. And I've got a lot of things I don't like about Trump. The Democrats, I mean, most of it's their economic policy, or historically it's been, you know, they want to play Robin Hood, steal from the rich, give to the poor, and that's just, you know, the government's not really a great mechanism to do that. I mean, for some reasons they may be, or in some situations they could be, but I just think overall the government's real bad. I'm generally just in favor of small government. And recently, the Democrats, my biggest complaint and issue with the Democrats has been like the transgender stuff. I mean, I come from a scientific background, so if either party is going against just basic fundamental science, generally I'll disagree with that party on that specific issue. Just because you chop your nuts off doesn't make you a girl.
Boys have a penis, girls have a vagina.
And I know there's mental, like genetic abnormalities and stuff, and I would never argue with somebody like that and tell them they don't feel the way they feel or they don't believe whatever they believe, because it's in their own head. But I think the bigger issues start whenever, like the bathrooms. I mean, aside from the health issues, I mean, testosterone's important. Like, that's one of the reasons that men start to feel bad the older we get, is because we lose our testosterone. So if you're like 25, for example, and you chop your nuts off, you lose a lot of that testosterone. So you go from 25 to like 100 overnight. I know the doctors, they'll have like hormone therapy. They have all sorts of different stuff. But I don't know that gets rid of all your testosterone, because your adrenals, they also produce a little bit of testosterone, and your body's pretty good at like keeping things balanced and keeping things in certain ratios. So your adrenal production of the testosterone could increase after you have a procedure like that done. Anyone who's not an adult, I mean, it's terrible to try to influence like a child's opinion about that, or their thoughts, or they probably don't even have thoughts like that. I mean, when they're young kids, that's pretty bad. And just trying to put out there, in, you know, any books that are used in schools, just trying to question that fundamental. I mean, there's boys and girls. I don't think people should be taught from a young age that you're born one way, but you still have a choice. You can decide. It's up to you. That's not really how it works. And for the people that want to, I mean, more power to them. If you want to have a procedure like that done or something, I mean, I'd be interested in talking to them and just finding out, kind of picking their brain about why they think that way. But like, I don't want my tax dollars going to pay for somebody's surgery. You know, if somebody else wants to do it and pay for it and whatever they think, I mean, that doesn't matter at all to me. They do whatever they want. That's one of the first issues where I really disagreed with the Republicans, like when I was growing up, was the gay marriage thing. Because I think people are just, like, if it has no effect on my life, I don't care. Do whatever you want. I always thought it was just kind of weird and creepy that Republicans cared what their neighbors across the street were doing in their bedrooms, you know. I'm opposed to abortion, but I'm also pro-choice. just because I don't think my views should be imposed and forced on anyone else if it has no impact on my life. Like, if you want to have an abortion, I think that's fine. That's between you and God. That's not, I shouldn't get in the way of that. And if you don't agree with abortions, then just don't have an abortion. It's that simple. So I always fall on the freedom of individuals side of any political argument generally, unless it affects, if somebody's doing something and it affects someone else, then I agree with the government. Like, I'm not an anarchist. I'm not just anti-government for all things. I mean, I do think the government serves a purpose. They're just real bad at a lot. I think both parties are just way too big government. And that's what I responded to the guy in the comments. I just said, I'm in favor of small government, limited government. I think they screw everything up when they get involved, most things. And I don't like the intervention and protectionists, like the dislocation that it creates with the tariffs. I really hate the tariff policies. I'm a free trade. I understand all the stuff with China, and I'm not opposed to certain tariffs with China, but the tariffs with this trade war have extended way beyond China. There's not an economic, scientific approach that was taken to any of them. It just seems like they let Peter Navarro in the room, and they actually listened to some of the stupid things coming out of his head. If you're not familiar with Peter Navarro, look him up. He's a complete fraud. He's one of the biggest idiots in the entire country. No one in the economic world has any respect for him. He's a complete loser. So, and the Trump administration not only let Peter in the room, I mean, they paraded him out. They let him get in front of the cameras. So obviously they didn't have enough of a problem with his ideas to like hide him, lock him away in a closet somewhere. I mean, that guy's just an idiot. And so for them to do that, that's a big red flag. But the Democrat, I mean, I disagree with both sides. The Democrat stuff, like Biden, I don't think I had much issue with Biden. He was kind of an absent president. He wasn't there. I mean, the guy fell asleep on stage. Like, he fell asleep at a presidential debate that he was participating in, supposed to be participating in. It looked like he was on tranquilizers. I don't know if he actually fell asleep, but it looked like he had some major problems. That's kind of, in my opinion, what the Democrats did with him is just elder abuse. I mean, that's just bad. Anybody who was close to Joe Biden at the time, they should have stepped in and done something, and they didn't. I mean, they just let it happen. My economic beliefs are more in line with like Milton Friedman, Austrian School of Economics. That's kind of where I fall on most things. I'm not opposed to all the money printing. I think with population growth and everything, there's some reason for it. But I don't agree with money printing to, kind of paper over, put a Band-Aid on our financial problems. And I don't agree with all the debt we run up, and people think there's just an unlimited supply and we can just create money. We can spend as much as we want. Both sides do that. They're both guilty, but the Democrats they're more on the extreme side of that economic argument. The Obamacare, I really didn't like that. And I think Obama, I mean, he was a smart guy, or still is a smart guy. I mean, he did some really good things while he was in office. His healthcare stuff I didn't like. I felt like, and I was a lot younger at the time, but Obamacare just didn't work mathematically. So what they ended up doing is they got young, healthy people to subsidize old, sick people's health insurance, essentially, is what happened. And if you're a young person, well, you shouldn't really like that, especially when it's the boomers. I mean, the boomers were kind of, they've always done what's going to benefit themselves. And I guess that's what every voting bloc does, is you vote for what's in your best interest. So it's not like the millennials are in the right to criticize and, think they would do something different. But it's just, if you're a boomer, you've always had the votes to go in your favor for a lot of policies. I wish there was more independence in the country. I wish there was less Republicans and less Democrats. I think everyone on both sides is brainwashed by their propaganda outlets. I don't think the Democrats will give Trump any credit for the Mexican government. They killed They killed a cartel leader recently, here in the past week. And I'm sure the Democrats are just criticizing the Trump administration for even trying to take some credit for it. But there's good information that shows the United States provided intelligence on that and was helpful. And I'm not sure why the Mexican government is opposed to that being public. It seemed like they were pretty pissed off that I think it was the FBI director who kind of ran his mouth a little bit, taking some form of credit for intelligence that was provided. But I mean, the U.S. government talks to all. I mean, they're providing intelligence all around the world. They're getting intelligence all around the world from everybody. So Trump did, I mean, he has put pressure on the Mexican government to crack down on drug trafficking, specifically coming into the United States. I think he's done a good, I mean, I think that's a good thing he's done. And obviously it's kind of working out, or there's a recent example of it working out. I'm not sure why I was concerned with Canadian drug trafficking. He was real convinced, or he publicly stated how much fentanyl was flowing across the Canadian-U.S. border. If you fact check that, it's just not true. It's a tiny fraction. And that's the biggest problem with Trump I have, is just that he's just a very simple-minded.
They're eating the dogs, the people that came in.
He exaggerates things.
They're eating the cats
that are not factual. He claims things as facts that are not factual.
They're eating the pets.
I think we can do better as a country than we've had with Trump 1, Biden, or Trump 2. I think we need to get back to we need to go in a different direction, probably a younger direction for presidents, so we don't have the problems with mental reasoning slipping while they're in office. So anyways, I've lost all my subscribers now. I need to shut up. I'll see y'all in the next video. Take care. Stay safe. And this isn't going to turn into a political channel. I'll get back to just trucking related information. If people are interested in it, I mean, I can do like a weekly trucking market update or something like that. I can do a weekly what was in the news this week and just do like a short little video on that if it's something people like. But I definitely don't want this channel to turn into politics. I normally stay out of politics. I don't like to get involved in it. I've got my own opinions and beliefs, and I kind of just run my filters through whatever I hear in the news. But yeah, let me know in the comments whether you agree or disagree with my opinions or thoughts on things. If you think it'd be a good idea to have more political discussion on the channel, or if it should be strictly trucking related, and I'll try to go in one direction or another. But y'all take care, stay safe out there. I'll see you next time.